Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We definitely appreciate the support. Quick live stream here, kind of like a Q&A. If you could see me in the comments, let me know. If you could hear me, let me know as well. Hope everybody's having a good day. Today is Saturday, and it's night time, obviously. It's 9:02 here in my house right now. Trying to set up some of the live streams right here. Something going on with it, but I think we're good. So I see Mateo here, and wow, Mateo, you're the first one, brother. And hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna be here for a little bit. First of all, happy birthday to Mateo. Obviously he's a Marine. Happy birthday to myself. Happy birthday to all Marines out there. Marine Corps birthday was yesterday, and if you don't know, I told a bunch of people at work, November 10, 1775, the Marine Corps came alive, and that's how Marines were formed in that day, in a place called Turn Tavern. And I mean, it's great to be a Marine. I loved it, and I served for 11 years, and 11 years, 5 months, and 20 days, something like that. And it was a great time. I never met a Marine that haven't told me that they didn't like it. They dislike a lot of things, but they also love a lot of things. And obviously today is Veterans Day, so if you serve the country, if you serve, I gotta tell you, I appreciate it. My family appreciates it as well, and thank you so much for your sacrifice. Whatever you did, Air Force, Navy, Army, Coast Guards, whatever, thank you so much. And also thank you to, and I say this all the time, thank you to the police officers, firefighters, and even some of the guys that work for the city. Some of those guys do a lot of things for us that you don't even know. Some of those guys make a lot of sacrifice, work a lot as well, and we definitely appreciate you guys' service. So I see some of you guys here. Let me see if I could put the comments in here. Oh, there we go. I'm getting fancy. So I'm gonna be here for a little bit. If you got any questions, put it down in the comments, and I'll talk about whatever. I don't really have a topic right now. I just came here to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Mateo said, I have to do it again if I could. No doubt, man. No doubt. I actually have people that ask me that questions every now and then. It's like, hey, will you do it again? Yes, man. In a heartbeat. I mean, I love it. I had such a great time. Such a great time. David Wicks, look, David Wicks is in the house. Semper Fi, my brother. It's amazing. Me and David went to boot camp together. Actually, we went to boot camp, so we go way back to that March. I went to boot camp March 11th of 2002, and so we go way back, man. Actually, I was telling there was this guy that came to work the other day. And this guy is turning 97 years old. And, old school Marine, Eagle Jimin, he was there in combat. He saw crazy stuff. And it's just unbelievable to talk to this guy. I mean, he was so deaf that you actually got to, you have to scream on his ear for him to listen to you. But he was telling everybody, Semper Fi. Like everyone, it's kind of funny because it was like Semper Fi, Semper Fi, Semper Fi, and some of the people where I work have no idea what Semper Fi means. And Semper Fi is short to Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful, and it's pretty much what Marines tell Marines. They typically say "Hoorah," or they say "Rod," or they say "Kill," or they say Semper Fi, things like that. So when you see a Marine saying that to another Marine, it's kind of like a sign of respect. Not only respect, it's kind of like a sign that we are brothers, When Marines tell Marines Semper Fi, it goes deeper. It goes deeper than just like always faithful, It's a thing that Marines do. But I kind of explained that to a couple of people at work. People have no idea, and obviously they're civilian. Why would they have an idea? Some of them do, unless your I don't know, your husband or one of the family members were a Marine or something like that. A lot of people don't know what it means. So I was able to explain that to a couple of people. But big shout out to Miguel. Judy's in the house. Thank you, man, for your support to the channel. Gregory said, thank you for your service, my brother in Christ. Hey, man, it's amazing. It was totally amazing. David said 2002. Yep, man, boot camp, man. That was you know, it's funny because I was talking to these two guys from the army that went to my job the other day, and for some reason, one of the persons in the inside was, hey, when you come out, talk to that guy outside. He was in the Marine Corps. So the guy came here and talked to me, and we started talking. Anyway, I was like, you know, I was telling them about the time that I went on ship with the 22nd MU, 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit. And I was telling them when I was on ship and Marines and the way that the Navy operates on ship and all that. And it was in 2007. And I started thinking to myself, man, it was 10 years ago. And I mean, these guys were maybe 23, 24. They just came here from Germany in the army. You know, the guy was a medic. He came to the United States. They got stationed in Virginia. But anyways, it was 2007. It was 10 years ago, and it kind of feels, man, that we're getting a little bit old. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. It's starting to feel like we're getting old. Jeffrey Volk was thanks to all the vets. Here, you eternally deserve our respect. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I actually served with a guy named Jeffrey Volk. He was an ammo tech. Actually, in the 22nd MU when I was there, and he was a sergeant, big white dude, like Jack. You wouldn't mess with him. I don't know if that's you or not, but if not, there was a Marine named Jeffrey Volk. I think his first name was Jeffrey. I could have that run. But his last name, that's a very unique last name, man. So I remember his last name. Really, really cool guy. Jesse Gonzalez in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good weekend. QPL, I don't know how to say your name, says, when I joined the Marine Corps, should I go to college and become an officer, or should I go enlisted? Here's the deal, man. That's a hard decision. First of all, a lot of times, you know, enlisted Marines typically get the respect versus officers. Some of the officers, let me rephrase that. Officers get respect as well, but Marines tend to respect more enlisted because obviously, you know, enlisted got to go through a bunch of trash in order to, you know, pick up rank, and they work really hard. On the other hand, officers do all the same thing, but they do it at a different level as the management, kind of like a manager level. Now, I don't really talk a lot of crap against officers because I witness officers doing a great job. And I really think we need them in the military. You know, when I went to Afghanistan, I hang around with a lot of officers, and they did a fantastic job. So I don't really go like, you know, officers don't know what they're doing. Officers do know what they're doing, and they do a really good job when they go into the higher level, major, lieutenant colonel, and things like that. When they're lieutenants and new to the Marine Corps, they're walking around like they don't know anything. And obviously, they're new to the Marine Corps. But what I was going to say was, it's up to you. You know, if you want to go to college and spend 4 years in college and then try to go in the military, that's up to you. If you want to go in the military and then go to school, there's actually programs that will help you out going to the officers side. One of them was called ECP, Enlisted Commissioner Officer, or program. And essentially, they will send you back to boot camp. You're going to have to go to boot camp again. And OCS school is what it's called, and go through all that. Or, you know, there was another one. I think it was called the MISET. I can't remember what it stands for. But essentially, if you have some college credits, they will send you to college to finish your degree. So you may be in college for like 2 years while they're paying you E5 pay, and you go through that. Now, that's really competitive. It's not as easy as I'm saying. There's only so many allocations and things like that. But it's up to you, man. I mean, if you have the ability to go to college, go to college. If you're poor like I was so poor. I mean, I was working to pay rent. I went in the Marine Corps and I was able to get a steady paycheck. I couldn't afford to go to college. So that puts me in a different category, going enlisted and maybe later on trying to be an officer. That's that category. But it's up to you. But if you know, if your mom and dad is rich and they're going to pay you college, why not go to college and then join the military as an officer? And you don't have to do what PSCs, Lance Corporals, and Sergeants do. which is kind of nasty. But hey, I don't know if I'm making any sense. You let me know in the comment section below. Brander says, Semper Fi, hoorah, hoorah to you, my brother. Let me see some of the comments over here. Lifter said, do you get crap from other Latinos? All right, so this is interesting, man. This is so interesting. Yes, to answer your question, yes. So essentially what Lifter 015 is saying, because I'm a Hispanic, and I'm assuming maybe he's Hispanic as well, we have to vote for Democrats, or how dare you vote for Trump and things like that. So here's what I do, man. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't get into this type of conversations, and essentially I don't get in this conversation because, to me, the problem that we have in this country today is the work of the devil. And essentially the problem is that we continue to fight each other over some things. For example, we continue to fight each other over the color of a skin, right? Like, you're black, I'm white, or you're black, I'm Hispanic, or I'm Hispanic and you're white, and we need to fight about this, Latinos versus white people, or white people versus black. To me, it's simple. The more that we argue about this, the more that we could have, the more that we are stopped for having the real conversation, which is Jesus Christ. If we are in disagreement, we're not going to be able to accomplish anything. I just talked about the fight in the gun community versus who, Second Amendment lover versus the other channel. You guys have been tracking on all this. It's kind of coming down right now. If we continue to fight, we cannot talk about the bigger question, which will be saving a Second Amendment rights, right? Because we are fighting. So I tend not to make my decision on the color of my skin or my background. Because I'm Hispanic, I need to vote Democrat, or because I'm Hispanic, I can't vote for Trump. And I've been getting that conversation a lot. Even family members, they were like, oh, can you believe about what Trump is doing? And they're flipped out about this. And I'm like, I'm not going to get really in that conversation over, I'm Hispanic. The point is I'm Hispanic, so I'm supposed to vote for these people. I'm not going to get into that. My advice will be, look into the person's heart. Like, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Look into the person's heart. Like me personally, I wanted to have a man that loved God. That's what I wanted to have. So I was looking into people's heart. And then it got to the point with this last election that it was pretty much picked the best. For me, it was pretty much picked the best one of the worst too. Because none of the two I liked. I really didn't. I didn't like Trump and I didn't like Hillary. So it's kind of like, which one are we going to go for? Now it's kind of like a process of elimination. This was my case. And obviously Hillary is a criminal. She's a criminal, and she's just a criminal. So that should tell you my decision on that. But I do get crap for being Hispanic, and I'm supposed to support the Democrats. I have got that. And I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I don't do it because I try not to make a decision because everybody's supporting these people. I need to support them. No, I don't do that. I'm in a different level, man. You know what? I try to be in a different level. I try to think about the things that I want to do and all that stuff. So here's the thing to finish this here. It says, here's the thing that I'm going to tell you about Democrats and to finish this comment. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you about Democrats and Republicans. They don't care about you. If you really think they care about you, we just seen Republicans turn around and introduce a bunch of bills against gun laws. If you really think they care about you, we are run. If we think these people, the government, care about you, we are run. Trust me. If you don't believe it, see the 22 veterans that kill themselves daily. You think they care about the veterans? The government doesn't care about you. No one really cares about you. So that's why I put my hope in Jesus Christ, because I know the good Lord cares about me. So, when I hear things like Hillary care for the Latinos, you should vote for Hillary. I'm like, dude, get out of here, man. She doesn't care about you. She's making money, man. She cares about the next book and how much money she's going to make and how they can make more money. They don't care about us. Get out of here with they care about the Latino stuff. Danny said, tell us about your MOS. I was a military police. I was a military policeman, and I did that for 11 and a half years, but I did many different jobs in the Marine Corps. I was also a physical security, which is an additional MOS, which is 5814 and a 5811. But I did a lot of work. I mean, I was a fire team leader, squad leader, platoon sergeant. I was a platoon commander. I was the training chief for the company. I work as a anti-terrorist and force protection. I work as a patrol supervisor. I work as a patrolman. I've done a million things, man. I did the majority of my time in the field, so I only spent about 2 years, two and a half years, maybe a little bit more, in the PMO, in the law enforcement capacity. The majority of my time I actually spend it in the field doing things such as, you know, convoy security, protective service detail, patrols, and things like that. Let me see. Jesse said, thank you for your service to this great nation. No doubt, man. Brandon said, do you go to Paris Island or are you a Hollywood Marine? Of course, man. I went to where real Marines are made. I'm just kidding. I went to Paris Island. I was in India Company, 3rd Battalion, India Company, Platoon 3044. If you ever want to know if a Marine is really a Marine, ask him where he went to book him. He should know. Marines don't forget that thing. And he should know his platoon number too. So, again, I was Platoon 3044. My senior drill instructor's name was Staff Sergeant Clark, Sergeant Benign, Sergeant Cisvera, and Sergeant Lido. And I had another guy that was there for a little bit. His name was Staff Sergeant Fogarty. Let's see. Caesar says, Semper Fi, brother. Well, Semper Fi to you, my friend. Lifter say if Hillary won, Obama would have been in the Supreme Court in 45 years. You know what? Here's the deal, man. Here's the deal, man. I never liked Hillary. I thought she was a criminal. Or I think she's a criminal. I'm hoping that she get put in jail in the next year whenever they do all these investigations. The Genius Prepper say I am 60% Irish, so I must be an alcoholic. It is all division. David Wick says Hillary equals the devil you were talking about. Yes. Yeah, no doubt. I got videos here on the channel highly criticizing her, but I do get that, and I get it really often because I'm Hispanic. I should go against Trump and support Hillary. And here's the biggest thing that I didn't like about her, and I tell you guys this because I tried to be as honest as I can. First of all, I didn't like the whole abortion thing. I just didn't like that, you know, the whole, maybe I'll talk about abortions in a different videos, but I just didn't like the whole abortion policy that she had. And second of all, I didn't like the fact that she's a liar. You know, she put national security information out there for the enemy to get, and nothing happened to her. She lied about it. She hid this emails, and she was forced to turn in all that information. I mean, the guys in Benghazi that died, I mean, it was really bad. And to me, as a person that have handled classified information, I know if I would have done like this much as she did, I would have been put in jail. My career would have been done. I would have been kicked out of the Marine Corps with no benefits, and I probably would have done time. But she did that, and she didn't, and I didn't find it fair. So I just didn't like the stand against the military, and I didn't like some of her belief. And to me, it's simple. You know, I just didn't like her at all. So let me see. Oh, I saw Wicked's in the house. Good to have Wicked here, sir. Thank you for serving our country, and my family and myself, we appreciate your service to this country as well. Let's see. Oh, Mateo, no. Mateo says 2nd Battalion, Golf company, platoon 2064. So I don't know if I could talk to you, Mateo, because, you know, I was 3rd Battalion, and you know how it is, 3rd Battalion. Well, I guess it could have been worse. You could have been in 1st Battalion. Just kidding, man. We always talk about those things, you know. Even it's funny to see the Hollywood Marines versus the Parris Islands Marines, and then the guys in Parris Island talking battalion against battalion. It's always funny, and you see it in the military, you know, like 1st platoon versus 2nd platoon, and even in the platoons, you know, whoever's in 1st squad versus 2nd squad. There's always a competition between Marines, but at the end of the day, we all love each other, man. We're brothers. Bob Burke said, don't forget Benghazi. Yeah, no doubt, man. I think I mentioned that. Wicked said, there is no real justice in this nation. Yeah, there is not, man. It's all about whoever makes the money, man. You know, these people that make money, they truly abuse us, and they truly take advantage of us. And it is what it is, man. That's just how it is. I mean, we are in a system right now that is ridiculous, like completely ridiculous. The government has a system that is constantly abusing us, and I just hate it. You know, even here in this city where I stay, even here, you know, you can't paint your house the way you want to. If you forget to cut the grass one day, they will give you a ticket, and now you owe the city $5,000. If you need to get a license for anything, you have to pay a ton of money. I just got to redo my license for my job, and I got to pay a ton of money. I'm going to do it this week coming up. I mean, it's crazy the amount of money that they do in taxes. It's out of control, you know. Just down here from my house in Orlando. Actually, I went to Miami. In Memorial Weekend, and every other place there's a toll. I mean, I'm paying tolls everywhere. Like, I cannot even drive because there's a freaking scanner scanning my car and sending me a bill to my house. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if you know me, I hate tolls. I'm thinking to myself, I'm already paying taxes. Why do I got to pay 75 cents in every freaking stop? It's just crazy. I mean, the system that we have now in place, to me, is pretty abusive, and I just don't like it. You know, the same thing with the military. Today is Veterans Day. We appreciate the service, but I got to tell you, if you see a veteran out there, thanks then for their service. Because they do it, and I told my kids this, they do it because they love this country. They really do. They love the country, and they want to make something better. Because at the end of the day, when they come out of the service, they really don't get what they deserve. And when they get it, it's because someone helped them fill the right paperwork. Because the government will give you a bunch of things, and it's true. But unless you fill the right application at the right moment, you won't get anything. So, and, you know, some of us, we don't speak VA, right? We don't speak VA. We don't know everything that we're supposed to do. So it takes us years to get our benefits just because the lack of knowledge, because no one tells us. Do you know, like, I cannot tell you how many times somebody say, do you know you rate this? And I'm like, what? No one tells you anything. So it's pretty crazy out there. Kind of went in a rampage here for a second. Wicked said she left soldiers in the field to die. For that alone, she deserves death. Yeah, I mean, and dude, I mean, I'm sure you're tracking with the news. Bird Dog is about to get $300,000 in back pay. $300,000 in back pay. What? But he has to pay $10,000, you know, in return for the next 10 months. But he's getting $300,000 in back pay. That's just crazy, man. Ooh, that's just crazy. Let's see. Appreciate my friends Mateo and Wicked. They are keeping track of the chat here. They erase a couple of comments. If you curse, your comment won't be shown. So don't be cursing. David Wick says, everybody knows 3rd Battalion was the best. Booyah. Oh, man. Scissor said, I was in the West Coast Marine, but I did training at Lejeune. The East Coast is no joke. Yeah, man. You know, I never made it to your side, man. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. I never made it down that way. I wish I would have had. It would have been cool to, you know, just go and see the other side. Naibo said, what camera are you using for this? I'm using a Sonnet what is that? A5100, A5100, which is like a $600 camera, and that's the camera that I used to record to. And I'm using this thing called Elgato Cam Link, which allows me to use a regular camera as a webcam. So I'm not actually using a webcam. I'm using a mirrorless camera. So it allows me to do this. Now I use OBS on the side, and that's how I live stream. I'm going to be buying something new soon called Stream Deck, which will be like a bunch of switches and allows me to switch to different cameras. So that'll be coming up soon, and it's going to be pretty cool because, you know, now I had to use the mouse to be able to switch screens. With that, I'm going to be able to switch screens even faster. So Matt said, "Hey, Jarhead, thanks for your service. Happy Veterans Day, man. Happy Veterans Day for you too as well, man. My life is a meme." Says 2nd Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 1st. I'm sorry, your comment kind of went away. 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, West Coast as well. So you see what I'm saying? Marines know where they went to boot camp. Oh, that's a good point. Wicked said tolls were originally set up to pay for roads. Once the bill was paid, the toll was supposed to be removed. Too much revenue for it to be removed. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I guess that could have make sense in a way. You know. Okay. Let's get as a community and let's pay this off. But like you say, you know, when they're making hundreds of God knows how much, thousands of dollars a month, yeah, it's hard to walk away from that money. RYU said, random question: if you serve in the military, why do the rules for conceal and carry apply? No, don't really get that question, but here's the deal. Maybe this answers the question. There's a big misunderstanding for a lot of civilians. You think because you serve in the military, you're a firearm expert, and the reality that it's not. Just because you serve in the military means pretty much essentially nothing. Now, when it comes down to like actually having a gun, because many occupations really don't carry a gun at all. In fact, many occupations don't even go to combat, and that's kind of like a misunderstanding. You know, a lot of people say, well, you serve in the military. Oh, that means that you went to combat and killed the enemy and you know everything about guns. And that's not the reality. For example, you know, the Marine Corps is a little bit different because Marines have the mentality of being a rifleman first, and they kind of teach you that. But still, it's not the same. Unless you're an infantryman or you're a combat occupation, the reality is that you're not going to handle firearms that much. I mean, you know, Wicked would tell you, infantrymen. In my case, I was a military policeman, so I deal with firearms a lot, you know, pistols, shotguns, things like that. But I was able to be in the field, or I was in the field side of the MP, so of the military police. So I did a lot of training regarding to that. You know, combat engineers. Mattel was a combat engineer. You see guys like tankers, guys that drive Amtrak, EOD. So there's a lot of occupations out there that they actually do combat missions. Obviously, the infantry are full-on infantry guys, and they do great things. But you know, when you look at some of the guys, like if you I don't know, if you're a dentist, you work, you know, you deal with this, or if you are a supply guy, or if you're the mail clerk, or if you are, give me some jobs out there. So you know, air traffic controller. I had a friend of mine who was an air traffic controller. I mean, the reality is that you most likely, or you fix airplanes. The reality is that you most likely won't touch a gun. So you may touch a gun once a year, maybe. In the Marines, so actually you would touch it once a year for annual qualification. But in some other occupations, you may touch it every now and then, but you really don't know anything. When I was in ship, I remember we showed the Navy how to shoot, move, and communicate a lot. And we're doing a lot of training from the back of the ship. And they really enjoyed it. It was fantastic for them. But a lot of those guys being in the Navy for like years, I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 years, and they barely have touched guns in years and years to come. So again, I'm not talking crap about them at all. All I'm saying that is not. I gotta text my wife. All I'm saying is that they're not really, it's not really a priority for them because it's not really required. So they really don't know much about guns. So training for them will be critical. Now, to continue to answer that question, to me, this concealed permit and all this is crap. To me, really, it's crap. If you are a law-abiding citizen that you could buy a gun, you should be able to carry a gun. That's it. You know, I try not to go into this concealed carry crap because to me, that's just another way. We go back to the tolls. Is another way for the government to take your money. That's what it is. You know, again, just another way. Just like when we moved from North Carolina to here, and my wife just paid $120 something to get her license again, and another $50 something for the class, so another $200 to get her permit again. I mean, why? She already had a permit. So to me, all that is nonsense. And I think I talk a lot about that already. Let's see. All right, let me see. Jeffrey Volk said, veterans get treated like junk by our government. Absolutely unacceptable. Yeah, I get it, man. One day I'm going to tell you guys the story of when I left the military, because obviously you guys know that I left due to medical issues. I had to have back surgery and a bunch of stuff, and I was medically retired at 11 and a half years. And I got to tell you, I did got a retirement, so I do get paid for then. But it was really, really interesting how that went. And if it wouldn't be for the guidance or some of the guys that had a ton of rank, I mean, I'm talking like E9s, top of the top dogs that actually told me, hey, you know what? This is what you got to do to make sure your package was complete. I would have got out of the military with nothing. And now, it kind of sucks because when I got out of the military, I couldn't work. I spent about 2 years in my house sitting in a couch. This is how I started making YouTube videos. If you've been hanging around long enough, I was watching videos and essentially started making videos because I was bored sitting in a couch in my house doing tactical potato training and getting fat. And I started doing this just for fun. And obviously, it grew up, and now we're past 43,000 subscribers, coming out to 10 million views on the channel. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad that it goes that way. And unfortunately, a lot of veterans get pretty screwed about the benefits. Some of them get lucky, or some of them know how to play the system. We're not going to deny that. But there's other guys that don't, and or don't even know what the rate. And thanks God that I was able to get what I rated, what I earned. Is not a gift. Thanks to some of the guidance that some of the guys did. But I got to tell you, they pushed me. I remember one time this lady was pushing me so hard for me to sign an incomplete package. My package was incomplete, and they wanted me to sign this package for me to get out of the service. And all I wanted was my package to be completed the proper way. And thanks God I say, no, I'm not signing that package. And until you don't make it the right way, I won't sign it. But they pretty much threatened me. They were like, well, we're going to call your boss and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, come on, man. I was in E6. I was a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. You could call whoever you want to call. But it's kind of sad how that goes. Really, really sad. David said, learn to swim. I guess somebody said something about that. I did pretty good in swimming, man. I made it to the highest level every time, man. But yeah, you better learn how to swim. Mimi, my life, man. Your name kills me, man. What is your stand on veterans using cannabis something? I can't pronounce that. For PTSD, man. Here's my stand. My stand is simple, man. Some of you guys will like it. Some of you guys don't. My stand is always Jesus, man. That's it. I mean, I went through a lot of stuff, man. Just like some of you guys did, and the only thing that gave me peace was Christ. The only thing. He says he's the Prince of Peace. And I was able to get peace. You know, when some people get saved, they ask for many different things. You know, people always come to Christ in a moment that is really bad on their life. Obviously, typically people don't come to Christ when your life is perfect. You know, your life is perfect already. But people come to Christ when they have issues, you know, really bad. Maybe they're alcoholics, or they're dealing with a situation, you know, PTSD, you know, the devil telling you things that are truly not true and all that. When I came to Christ, I wanted peace in my life. That's what I wanted. I didn't want a job, a car, a house. You know, I'm okay working. You know, I'm okay going out there and doing some work. What I really wanted was peace in my life. I wanted to be able to have peace and be able to do things like a regular person, because the devil was hunting me. You know, was like messing with me in my head, right? And I wanted a peace. And he's the Prince of Peace. So I asked for peace. And the first thing that came to me, the first Bible verse that I ever learned, for some of you guys that care, it was be still. So in many situations, I just thought, you know, when something really bad happened, or something came to attack me, or something came that wanted to mess with me, I just stood still. I just stood there. And, you know, little by little, thanks God, the Holy Spirit in me, life is so much better. Doesn't mean that I don't have issues. I have issues. Everybody has issues. Your life is full of issues. I just know how to deal with those issues. You know, I got the hope, because God has a plan for you. Like, really, God has a plan for you that is so big that you can't, you know, I mean, it's a crazy plan. Trust me. Years ago, I would have never been telling you this on a camera. God has a plan for you. But we need to ask. We need to ask for that plan. So, yeah, man, I don't, you know, when it comes down to PTSD and things like that, my plan is simple, you know. Yeah, obviously, if you need to take Cancely or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But my answer to that, what worked for me after all the things that I did, was, you know, Christ. All right, let's see. Just real justice have not been met. Who's this dude? Sorry, comments are coming pretty quick. Jesse said, I served 8 years. I went to the pistol range once, qualified with the M16, and never touched it once again for 8 years. There we go. I mean, that's very common, man, for a lot of guys. Wicked said 95% of the military never seen combat, even deploy. True, you know, yeah, no doubt, man. Truly a true statement, you know. I think, you know what, Wicked, I think in the Marines is maybe a little bit, I mean, it's still guys that never deploy, but maybe some of the Marines do a lot of deployments more because they're smaller. I mean, the Army is really big compared to the Marines. I mean, at one point we had like 175,000 Marines or something like that. But still, you know, we have a lot of Marines that don't deploy, and as you probably know this because your rank and all that. As you get higher in rank, depends who you know. It could be very you know, it could be very easy for you to know somebody and kind of walk away from the deployment. I saw it all the time. And then you got the guys that said things like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna kill myself if you send me in deployment, and then they don't deploy, and it is what it is, you know. So I did a lot of deployments, man. I did more than enough. Big Mo is in the house. He said, thanks to all here that have served. Thank you, brother. We definitely appreciate that. Wicked says, some soldiers only qualify once a year and never touch a weapon. Yep, you're right, man. And that's the thing that I tell people here, especially when they go and seek out training. You know, a lot of veterans, you know, would try to sell you, you know, I'm a veteran or I'm a combat veteran and this and that. Sometimes I like to know a little bit more on you because, and again, I don't want to bash some of the guys, but many guys are claiming to be combat veterans and they spend the entire time in Kandahar eating Burger King in the base and never went outside the base. And it was funny to see some of the guys. Actually, it was hilarious. I bet some of you guys see this. Put it in the comments. You guys ever saw someone in Afghanistan or Iraq with a pistol inside a trash bag, and then the trash bag is tied up in a nut, and then they put it in the holster, so like that the pistol doesn't get dirty? If you saw guys like that, put it in the comments. You know, my guns were dirty because we actually used them. So. We could say JH6, what VA percentage are you? If you send me a message, I tell you, man. I don't want to tell in here, but it's pretty high. But if I tell you, just send me an email or something and I tell you, we could talk about that. Mattel says, yeah, I missed the old backyard videos. Yeah, man, I do too. Actually, you know what? I went shooting Thursday. And man, because of the change of time, me and Tactical Main showed up to the range trying to hit at 200 yards, hitting steel. So it was like 12 by 12, the piece of steel that they have back there. And my Spark 2 wasn't working, which I was like really upset about it because it was working just the other day, but it wasn't working. So I tried to bring the size, the backup size, and I mean it was clear enough for me to be able to see Tactical Main. You know, we were talking. I mean, it wasn't really that dark, but at the 200 yard, it was kind of dark, and I just could not hit the target, man. It was really, really dark. I couldn't see the target. So I got so upset, man, that I couldn't hit the target. I mean, I was just getting sad. But my eyes have been getting blurry too. And I did some research online, and it said I'm going to be getting old. I don't know if I'm getting old or not, but it says something like that. So I got to go back into the range, hit it again, because like I said, I wasn't hitting the target, and I need to go back and redo this, and I need to fix my Spark too, because, you know, and that just tell you, you know, I take my AR-15 out, and my Spark 2 is not working. I mean, something like what happened in the church. If I take my rifle out and my red point is not working, what do I do now? Now I got to use my iron sights. So that's very, very good to have this backup size. Very, very good. So, all right, guys, I'm going to cut this off because I'm going to go and watch TV with the wife. I'm going to go and finish watching The Walking Dead. We haven't finished watching last episode, and she just texted me. So I'm going to cut this off. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. We got a ton of videos coming up. Thanks a lot to Wicked and Mattel for checking out the comments. And I don't know who was this guy, but thanks a lot for keeping up with the comments. Really, really appreciate that. And again, stay tuned. We got more videos coming up, guys. And as always, God is in control.